In yet another step that could fuel tensions with Russia, US President Joe Biden has approved the delivery of anti-personnel landmines to Ukraine, according to a US official. The mines, expected to arrive shortly, are intended for deployment on Ukrainian territory to deter advancing Russian ground forces. Ukraine has reportedly pledged not to use these mines in areas with civilian populations. The decision marks a significant shift in US military aid to Ukraine, which has previously focused on anti-tank mines and other defensive equipment. The move is aimed at slowing Russian gains in eastern Ukraine, where Moscow's forces have made incremental advances in recent months, the official added. This comes as Russian President Vladimir Putin announced an update to Russia's nuclear doctrine, broadening the scenarios under which a nuclear strike could be considered. Moscow indicated the revised policy was a response to conventional attacks that posed existential threats to Russia or its ally Belarus. The update followed claims that Ukraine had used US-supplied ATACMS missiles to strike inside Russian territory, including a reported attack on a military facility in the Bryansk region. The new doctrine also reaffirms that any assault by a non-nuclear state backed by a nuclear power would be treated as a coordinated attack, escalating the potential for conflict with NATO. Western officials have noted the increasing rhetoric from Moscow, but analysts suggest the changes are a signal to deter deeper involvement by Ukraine's allies. Meanwhile, Ukraine's foreign minister said on Tuesday that the US cannot afford to look weak in front of Russia, North Korea, and Iran. He also called the new nuclear doctrine as saber-rattling to scare the West.
We need peace through strength. The United States cannot afford to look weak. Russia, Iran, and North Korea will perceive any sign of weakness as an invitation to directly harm American interest and security. Right now, we see new attempts by the Kremlin to use nuclear saber-rattling to scare the West. Their updated nuclear doctrine and public rhetoric on the use of nuclear weapons is nothing more than blackmail. They have used it many times before when strong decisions were made. We must remain cold-headed, clear-eyed, and not give in to fear.
Russia's UN envoy, Vasily Nebenzia, criticized Biden's approval of long-range missile strikes, claiming the decision reflected a reckless approach by an outgoing administration. He suggested that Biden, facing a challenging domestic political landscape, was taking risks with global stability.
The militarist agony of Democratic administration, which has suffered a humiliating defeat in a presidential election and lost the trust of most of its population, is now issuing, according to the mass media, suicidal permissions to Zelensky to use long-range weapons to strike inside Russia. Perhaps Joe Biden, for many reasons, has nothing left to lose. But we're astounded by the short-sightedness of the leadership of UK and France. They are eager to play into the hands of the exiting administration, and are dragging not just their countries but the entire Europe into large-scale escalation with drastic consequences.
Ukrainian forces, meanwhile, also launched an attack using ATACMS missiles on the same day as Biden gave approval, reportedly striking an ammunition depot 110 kilometers inside Russian territory. Kyiv confirmed the attack, but did not specify the weapons used. A US official later corroborated that ATACMS had been employed, while Russia claimed its air defenses intercepted most of the missiles, minimizing damage. The use of US-supplied ATACMS, the longest-range missiles provided to Ukraine to date, underscores Washington's commitment to supporting Kyiv despite escalating tensions. Russia has condemned the move as a deliberate provocation, warning that it risked pushing the conflict into dangerous new territory.